Hey everyone, I am CJ from CJ's Coins and Crafts, and welcome to Numiscast. This program is dedicated to exploring, learning, and understanding our coinage. And this week's episode is all about coin grading. If you are enjoying this series, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. Let's get into it. So, grading a coin is a highly debated topic across all of the internet for numismatic enthusiasts. We are going to dive into a number of topics in this episode that hopefully help you make a decision on when or if your coin should be graded. Now, there are a myriad of grading companies in the markets today, but for this episode, we are going to talk about specifically three that are generally accepted as the main TPG or third party graders for coins. The top three that I'm going to talk about in this episode are PCGS, NGC, and Annex. PCGS is known to be the premier grading company and has a huge fan base. NGC is known to be the cheaper alternative to PCGS, so deals in graded coins can usually be found in NGC holders. Annex is another third-party grader, but with one very clear difference. Annex is known to be much more inviting when grading varieties, including new discoveries, than PCGS or NGC. Now, for the polarizing statement. If you have to ask whether to get a coin graded, the answer is no. This is something that I say on forums a lot, and it is very polarizing. A lot of people don't like it, but I say it for a reason. And there are a number of reasons to grade a coin. Conservation of a coin to keep it in the current condition, to avoid further deterioration, the level of rarity, going after a high grade, reslabbing a coin, which means sending it into a different company or maybe the same company to try to get a different variety or a higher grade on it. Sending a coin in to have a variety notated on the holder that was previously not labeled. And these are just a few. There are a number of things that I recommend someone think about before venturing into the world of grading coins. This is where we are going to get into all of the different things that you should know before you ask the question, should I grade this coin? So, grading points. There are a number of different factors that will affect the overall grade and therefore the value of a coin as it is encapsulated into a third-party holder. The grade number. This is a numeral grade that the coin has, and this comes from the Sheldon scale. This is a scale between 1 and 70, with 70 being a flawless specimen with no detractors. This scale is broken up into groups of overall condition. The very bottom of the scale is a poor or a fair at 1 or 2. About good is generally a 3. Good is generally considered a 4. Very good up to 8. Fine puts it up to about 12. Very fine between 20 and 30. Extremely fine, this is notated as either EF or XF. 40 to 45. About uncirculated is around 50 to 55. And then you get into the mint state or the uncirculated scale, which ranges from 60 up to the flawless 70. The grading scale is affected differently depending on the denomination of a coin. And one tool that can be used with ease is PCGS's photo grade. This is on their website as well as published in books that can be picked up at a pretty fair price. These references will show the difference between grade and graded examples of each denomination at the level. The grading is very subjective between people, so it is really recommended that if you are looking to get the best value for a coin, to learn about how it grades and be able to grade the coin yourself. You should always look to buy the coin and not the holder. So color is the next factor that can affect the grade of the coin. Color in terms of grade is really specifically reserved for copper coins, or more specifically Lincoln cents. For the Lincoln series, there are 3 colors that are used: a red brown, and a brown, or a full brown. For some level description on these colors, we are going to use or reference the PCGS guide for color. Brown would be coins that have less than 5% of their original mint red color. Red-brown are coins that show between 5% and 95% of their original mint color. And that means red for coins that have 95% or more of their original mint color. And these designations can dramatically increase or decrease the perceived value of a coin. Brown being the lowest of the scale, and red being the highest. For example, the same Mint State 65 or MS65 1920S Lincoln cent can reach up to $35,000 in red, $2,500 in red brown, and roughly about $1,000 in brown. I pulled these numbers from the PCGS website on the perceived value of these coins. So that's just as a reference, and it just really depends on the type of coinage. The next factor that can add value or devalue a coin is the strike designations. On some coins, there are specific designations that denote the fullness or strength of a strike, which also nods to the overall condition of the coin. For this part, we are going to start with the Jefferson nickels. Those nickels from the 50s and 60s were made with dies that were heavily used and reused, leading to coins that had weak design elements. On the reverse, with the Monticello building, or Monticello, collectors are seeking coins that have full steps. This means that the building has 5 complete steps with no nicks, cuts, abrasions, or weakness to interrupt the step count. The next set are the dimes, meaning the Mercury dimes and the Roosevelt dimes. Both of these have elements on the reverse that are known to have weakness or quickly disappear with wear. The Mercury dime can achieve the full bands designation, or FB, if the bands that hold the fasces together are clearly defined. The fascie is the set of like stalks on the back of the coin that has the axe has the axe head in it. There are bands going across it that are basically the lashes that hold that group together. The Roosevelt dime has similar bands at the top and bottom of the torch. If these bands are clearly defined, then the coin could attain the full torch, or FT, designation. As we move up the denominations, the next one on the list is the Standing Liberty Quarter. The Standing Liberty Quarter, or SLQ, was minted from 1916 through 1930. The key to this prestigious designation is to have full details on the head of Liberty. And since this is one of the higher points on the coin, this makes it exhibit wear much easier than other details on the obverse of the coin. The Franklin half dollar rounds off the list of special strike designations with full bell lines, or FB, or FBL. On the reverse of the Franklin half dollar is the profile of the Liberty Bell. Near the bottom of the bell, there are 2 sets of lines that go across the bell. When these lines are complete and uninterrupted, the coin could then attain the full bell lines mark. Now we get into the really good stuff. Beyond the strike designations, there are additional label elements about the surface of the coin. The first type that we will discuss is a proof finish. Going back to the types of coins produced that we had talked about in a previous episode, the proof coin generally has mirror fields and frosted devices, and these are specially produced. The term used to describe this finish is called cameo. The bigger the contrast between the field and the devices, the deeper the cameo. Now, when it comes to the third-party grading companies, they treat cameo about the same, but have it a distinction when it becomes a greater cameo level. PCGS calls this deep cameo, as in deep contrast, between the mirror fields and the frosted devices, while NGC calls this ultra cameo. So when comparing a coin with different slabs, these two I would consider as comparable between the different companies. The other side of dealing with proof coins is the various levels of proof that a coin could attain. And these would be coins that fall below the cameo designation, but still have the proof-like qualities. 3 designations are proof-like, or PL, deep proof-like, DPL, or deep mirror proof-like, DMPL, or dimple for short. These designations are generally more specifically used with grading the illustrious Morgan dollars, but are not all specifically excluded to just grading Morgans. All 3 of these types of service descriptors come from the polishing of the dies during the creation process. The longer the die was polished, and this is as it is theoried, generally inadvertently, they created a better finish up to deep mirror proof like. And all of these coins that are business strikes that were struck with these dies that were heavily polished would carry proof like finishes without having these specially treated dies and planchets that go through the preparation process intended for proof coins. The last set of grading features that we are going to cover are those that are specific to each of the grading companies, PCGS and NGC. There is a very prestigious designation that an encapsulated coin might receive: the plus from PCGS and the star from NGC. Both of these are specialty marks to coins that present exceptional eye appeal, setting them apart from receiving a higher grade. So if you compare a MS67 and an MS67 Plus, the MS67 Plus has all of the eye appeal that would be considered basically an MS68 without having the condition that would fulfill the requirements of an MS68 coin. Now that we have a pretty good understanding of what grading is and generally how grading works, along with some of the nomenclature, now we see how this applies to the population reports. And you can find these population reports at 2 of the major third-party graders, PCGS and NGC. These population reports will have a breakdown of the number of coins that have been graded for a particular series, denomination, year, color, and so forth. Further refinement can show coins that have been graded in a particular color or even strike designations like the ones we previously covered. Now, how does these population reports affect the value? The more coins that are graded for that grade makes them more readily available. The concept and the law of supply and demand. The highest grade or top population, known as top pop, graded coins generally command a significant premium over the next highest grade. The specialty designations like the star and plus can make the difference between a lower grade or top pop grade, and such as the difference between an MS67 and an MS67 Plus could be well into the thousands of dollars. There are collectors that specifically get coins graded or obtain graded coins and build their coin collection, also known as a set registry. These registries are the official record of collections, and these set registries actually have point values that the grading companies give them. And the highest point value for a specific set registry gives that set generally a prestigious attribution. Now, when it comes to purchasing graded coins, the most important and repetitive advice that I give is buy the coin, not the holder. You, as the collector, should be able to look at a coin, graded or not, and be able to determine the approximate grade for the condition it is in. There are a number of ways to judge value based on the coin and condition that you then compare to the seller's asking price and be able to make a judgment call on whether you feel it is a good deal or not. Some other things to think about. Does this coin fit in my collection? Meaning, is this coin that I'm looking at, this graded or ungraded example, does it fit into what I'm looking for? Am I willing to spend a little more if I can get a better grade or condition of that style of coin? What is the minimum or maximum grade that I am looking to purchase for this particular coin? And do I want my graded coins to be all in the same grade and or graded by the same company? Some people prefer to have entire sets of coins, whether it's short runs of coins or their entire collection that is all under the PCGS label, or maybe a short run of Lincoln Cents that are all MS64, MS65, red brown, and PCGS holders. Everybody does their collection a little bit differently, and it's all up to you as the collector. So when it comes down to it, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast about grading coins. I went over a lot of information, and it was really to help you understand all of the things going behind the grading processes. I hope that this has increased your understanding on this topic. If you guys have other questions or any comments, put them in the comment section below. I would love to hear your questions and to give you guys answers on what I know. I have recently had some coins graded, and I can go through the entire process with you guys and why that I did that. But I thank you for joining me today in covering coin grading. I look forward to you guys on the next broadcast. Hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.